Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Danger Zone. I am your host, Ken Moore. We will be joined shortly by my co host, Floyd Brooks. We have a big show on tap for you tonight. Will the Titans trade Treylon Burks before the NFL draft or during the draft? An NFL prospect, big defensive lineman that the Titans may be looking at as well, gets himself in trouble with the law on this Sunday afternoon. The women's basketball tournament, South Carolina and Iowa, a great game. We will break that one down, and we'll talk a little NBA as the playoffs are on the horizon. All of that and more up next on the Danger Zone.
You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone.
All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Danger Zone, your Sunday night edition. Thank you, everyone, for joining the show. We want to introduce my boy, Floyd Brooks. I am your host, Ken Moore. We are in the Danger Zone another Sunday night, and we got a power pack lineup show for you guys here tonight. We definitely want your input in the show, so we definitely want you on the YouTube version if you can, so that you can leave your comments, so that you can subscribe to the show, you can like the show, you can get that notification bell, and we definitely want everyone involved in the big show tonight. My guy Floyd, got a lot on your mind, brother. What's going on with you? Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday to you, bro. Hello, world. Oh, shoot, man. We blessed, man. We blessed to be here to have this platform, man, to share our thoughts and opinions about what's going on in the sports world today, man, and just maybe, man, we can close the night out on a good spin, man, and everybody been and got a little bit of what they wanted, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to allow you, before we get into Treylon Burks, I know we didn't talk about this on topic, but just kind of give me a synopsis of your Houston Texans, where they are right now, and then we're going to hop into the Tennessee Titans. Anybody on the Texans that you want to put in the danger zone? Where's the team right now? You're the resident Texan supporter and fan, so we want to hear your thoughts on them before we dive deep into the Tennessee Titans.
I mean, that's sweet and simple. You know, we sitting very well in the AFC right now on paper. We're sitting well. I don't have anyone or any particular scheme or player or coach or anything with the Texans right now in the danger zone. You know, it's all about now putting it all together and putting it on the field now, Ken. You know, it's all about, you know, that chemistry that you was talking about, you know, that cohesiveness. It's about that now, you know. But right now they're not in the danger zone.
All right. Well, we're going to talk about a guy who is definitely in the danger zone right now, and that is Treylon Burks from the Tennessee Titans. He is definitely in the danger zone right now. And
Talk to me, big bro.
Yeah, can you hear me? Were you able to hear me?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Oh, you couldn't hear what I was saying a moment ago?
No, you blanked out on me, man.
Okay, my bad. I was talking about Treylon Burks, him being in the danger zone, and I apologize if you guys couldn't hear me.
Yeah. You lost us all the way, baby.
Okay, my bad. So we're talking about Treylon Burks being in the danger zone, and he's had a short start to his career. He's had a slow start to his career. Rookie season got off to a very slow start in camp. Had some asthma problems. Came in, wasn't in the best of shape. Then, of course, he come in playing under Todd Downing. Seems like the offense could never get him in a good position to succeed. Then after that, he plays a few games. He gets hurt, doesn't finish the season. I think he played 11 games his rookie year, 11 games last year. I'm going to pull up his stats here in a moment. But he really hasn't developed into that number one receiver that the Titans thought he would be coming out of Arkansas. Now, the knock on him coming out of college was that he was explosive, but he wasn't a very good route runner. And that's kind of translated to the NFL. You don't see any route tree from him. In college, he caught a lot of passes within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. Now with the new offensive staff, with Calvin Ridley coming on, DeAndre Hopkins coming on, the ideal spot may be for him at that third wide receiver spot. But there's also talk that the Titans may look to move him to improve their draft position, not necessarily in the first round, but maybe later in the draft, second, third, fourth round. Your thoughts on Burks? Should the Titans look to keep him and develop him, or should they be ready to move on?
He's not in the danger zone, though. He's not in the danger zone. It's not his fault, totally. Again, coaching means so much, big bro. Means so much. And being drafted after them trading A.J. Brown and coming in with the style and the offense that they were running, because Derrick Henry was that guy. It just never was built. The offense didn't fit what he had. What he had to offer. I wouldn't put him in the danger zone. I think he do need a fresh start. I think most guys that come in have their own, coaching staff as well. Then they want their type of players. Now, again, he was explosive coming out of Arkansas. I thought they took him in the first round. That was too high. I thought you could have got him in the second round. I believe you could have got him in the second round. But I don't think his lack of success is totally on him. As a player, you got to get on the field. You have to earn your stripes. You got to earn your keeps. True that. But coaching means so much. So I'm not going to just put him in the danger zone, but again, bad work ethics, not a great route runner. Again, can he be taught that? Can they be coached up to that? And until he have that around him, that's the same way we look at Justin Fields. We give all these reasons why he hasn't succeeded. Well, the same thing with Burks too, man. I don't think he just really been given the opportunity. Bringing in D-Hop last season, I've never known D-Hop to be one of those mentor guys. I just thought he just one of those guys to go out and do his business, take care of his business, and play the game the way it's supposed to be played. I never saw D-Hop as being a mentor or anything of that nature himself, because remember, coming out of Arizona and started having injuries and PED problems and all that himself, he was still trying to make sure he keep his spot in the pecking order when it comes to top wide receivers in the league. So again, I just think that the young man just needs a change of scenery. I'm not going to put him in the danger zone, Ken. I'm not going to do that.
Well, I'm definitely going to put him in the danger zone because I've seen his act for the last 2 years. He's played a total of 22 of 32 games, so he's missed 10 games, obviously, during the regular season. 49 receptions on 84 targets. That's a terrible percentage. Only 665 yards. Now, he does average 13 and a half yards per catch, which means he can be a big play guy down the field. But I think if you talk to most Titans fans, and hopefully we'll get some of them in the chat, he is definitely in the Titans danger zone. In lieu of being on the team next year and having a prominent role next year if he is on the squad. Now, I think ideally in this new system, could he be what Tyler Boyd was to Cincinnati when you had Jamar Chase and you had T. Higgins and you had Tyler Boyd as that third guy, which was a very crucial piece for Cincinnati on their Super Bowl run. So if you say you got Calvin Ridley on one side, you got D-Hop, who is going to move around into the slot and outside the slot. And then you got Treylon Burks, who can mesh with those guys. And then maybe if you add another receiver in the draft, I can definitely see him getting out of the danger zone. But for right now, for me, I definitely think he's teetering. And it depends on what teams may offer for him and what they may not offer for him if the Titans are looking to move him before the draft at the end of the month.
And piggybacking off that, listen, if Will Levis can have a decent season, I mean, you guys have receivers who are proven receivers. They're not Hop and Ripley are definitely not washed up. Is D-Hop the player he was 3, 4, 5 years ago? Of course he's not. But he's still a top tier receiver. Both those guys, man. I wouldn't be mad at having neither one of those guys on my team. Again, it's about coaching up now. I wouldn't let go of the kid yet. I would see what, this offensive guy that I have here now, see what he can do with him. I just don't think he got a fair chance, though. But again, you follow him far more than I do, so again, when you gave out those numbers and those stats, what stuck out to me the most was, 49 catches on 80-something targets. That's almost 50% or less than 50% of him catching. So that's not great right there. But again, when I'm gonna use numbers, I like to see how they came about. Those other 50% is passing where they catch with balls. How much was it on him? How much was on the offense? I look at that when you follow, you seize that. So I'm asking you the question: is that are those numbers that you're seeing, are they true, or is a little bit more to the numbers that you've seen in the last 2 years?
I think the numbers are representative of his ability to get open. Now, you did have Ryan Tannehill for the first year for the most part. Then Tannehill got hurt towards the end of the first season, and you ended up with guys like Malik Willis and Josh Dobbs, and I think Treylon Burks may have even been out by the time those guys got into the lineup at the end of the season. And then this year, of course, Tannehill started again, struggled, got hurt again. Will Levis takes over. So it's about a 47 completion percentage. Only one touchdown reception so far in 2 years. So I do put a lot of it on the offensive design. Obviously, we were primarily a running team, a very conservative offensive team with Todd Downing. And then with Tim Kelly, that was just a complete disaster in and of itself whenever he came into the building. But now, as you mentioned, you got a new offensive staff. You hope that Callahan and his crew can develop him, put him into some more favorable situations in the slot, outside the slot, put him in motion, try to get him into some one-on-one operations. But I tell you what, if the Titans can get anywhere from, now you spent a first-round pick on him, so you don't want to give him away like the Bears had to do with Justin Fields. I mean, they basically gave him for what, a 6th-round pick, I believe, and he's a quarterback. So I don't know what you can get for Treylon Burks, who I was in the same draft, I believe, as Hurts, if I'm not mistaken, or he may have been a year after.
I can't remember, but yeah, because Burks is not. He's still on his rookie deal. He's still on his rookie deal. So they may be in the same draft for give or take or something. Yeah, but So I mean, but the Justin Fields thing is a little bit different, a little bit more different. You had a lot more to see with him, and then it was obvious at some point, man. You got to take a quarterback with the number one pick. You have to, and unless Justin Fields just blow them out of their mind, that pretty much was going to be their way. They was going to do that anyway. But with Burks, I just don't think he's been given a fair shot to show what he is and what he's best at. If he's a high speed Gabe Davis. I know I use Gabe a lot because he's a big guy, but he can't do nothing but run streets and backhand phase. That's all he can run. Is he that type of guy? Probably not as big as him, but definitely faster than him.
Mm-hmm.
But again, man, you have to be able to get in a system and a system and a coaching staff that utilize your ability versus you trying to make you fit a scheme, implement the scheme around what the player bring to the table. I'm not ready to throw the towel in on Burks yet, Kim. I'm not ready yet.
Not ready to throw it in on him yet, huh?
No, I'm not ready to throw it in on him yet, man. Boy, you get him in a lovable mood, man. I ate some meatloaf today, man. So I'm in a good mood today with you, man. I ate some meatloaf, bro.
Hey, man, you told me about that old Sunday dinner that y'all had cooking up over there. I didn't get no invite,
Yes. My wife did a great job. She did a great job. Shout out to you, baby. Shout out to you.
All right, no doubt. Well, we want to touch on one other NFL deal, and you guys may have caught the little preview there that I put up on the screen, and that is T'Vondre Sweat of the Texas Longhorns, who is projected to be a late first round, maybe early second round draft pick, and we definitely want you guys to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button for the show. But T'Vondre Sweat arrested early this morning, late last night, whatever it is, in Austin, Texas, as reported by KXAN TV in Austin. And he was arrested on suspicion of DUI. He was released after posting bond. Of course, he was the Outland Award winner with Texas. Mel Kiper has him projected as the third defensive lineman in the upcoming NFL draft. You hate to see these guys go through this. Seems like every year this happens right before the draft where someone does something to ruin their draft stock, and you hope that hasn't happened to this kid.
Yeah, unfortunately, man. Young athletes, young men. I mean, me personally, I just never been into speed, Ken. That's me personally. I've never been into speed. But again, we've seen the same incident with Jalen Carter last season, and also with Henry Ruggs, who was a former NFL player at the time, and this. I can't hear you.
Yeah, just to clarify, I don't think it was he didn't get charged with speeding. He got charged with DWI.
Yeah,
so I just want to clarify.
Okay. With DWI, speeding, it's all bad, it's all dangerous, it's all wrong, But again, you just never know what goes into individual mind. I mean, we can use Jay Will many years ago. First round pick by the Bulls out of Duke. Got on a motorcycle and career ended. I just don't want any tragedy to happen to any of these guys or young men, while they adjust and as they learn and get more mature. Again, I hope it don't hurt the draft stat. I think they said he was third on the depth chart behind, I think his teammate Byron Murphy. That's a Longhorn too, ain't he?
Yeah, Byron Murphy, and I think there's a kid Florida State. I
Yeah,
think
Florida
those are the
State. Yeah,
top two, and
yeah.
then
So
and Sweat behind those guys.
yeah. So again, we never want to see anything like that, but it's not the first. But again, what you said, touch back on what you said, it's been kind of consistent here lately. It's been consistent last 2 or 3 years, something in the offseason, set somebody back, knock somebody down the ladder, or bring somebody up the ladder, But I just hope everything turned out right for the kid and he get through this and he learn from it, man.
Yeah, no doubt. And look, I'm definitely not here to throw shade or anything like that. I love the kid. He obviously did a great job for my Longhorns this past season, and I root for all Texas Longhorns to do well and all of these young men to do well and be able to have a long, lucrative career and be able to support and take care of their families. And look, I'm not going to be a hypocrite. When I was young, I can say that there were probably some times when I was behind the wheel when I had one too many. Now, I was blessed never to be in an accident or get pulled over by the police or anything like that. It happens. But in this day and age, with so much money on the line and so many avenues that you have with Uber and Lyft and all of the ride share options that are out there. And look, I've been on 6th Street in Austin, Texas. I don't know if this happened in downtown Austin. I don't know if it happened up in the hills or over by Lake Travis or where it's been. I've been everywhere in Austin. And look, it's easy to get into trouble and it's hard to get out. It's
been to 6th Street a couple times myself, brother.
Yes, sir.
It's part of town, man. It's part of
town.
And again, I mean, Austin, it's a college town. It's always activity. It's something going on, and not negative, but it's always something going on, man. So, they got to be more smarter, Ken. They got to be more smarter, and hope they learn from their mistakes. Yep, we ain't going to knock 6th Street, man. Let 6th Street do 6th Street, man.
Shout out to my boy Morocco in the house from the Titans Coliseum, man. They got a fire podcast. I've been on those guys' show before. They do one heck of a job. Shout out Morocco. Thanks for hopping in, brother. But yeah, man, back to Sweat. Now as a Tennessee Titans fan, this could work in their favor because this is a guy that they may target with that 38th pick in the 2nd round. If he does slide down, because that's one of the areas where Tennessee is weak now, is on that defensive line next to Jeffrey Simmons. They need another big guy that can plug that gap. And if you can get a guy like Sweat to come in, learn on the Big Jeff, play next to Big Jeff, because remember, Jeffrey Simmons came in when Jarrell Casey, the all-pro defensive tackle for Tennessee, was starting to get later in his career. Yeah. And now, of course, Simmons is in his prime. Casey was at the end of his career when Big Jeff came in 2019, I believe it was. But if Sweat can come in to whoever he goes to, but particularly for Tennessee, I think he would be a perfect fit on that defensive line next to Jeffrey Simmons.
I mean, if you get an opportunity to drop another lineman again, interior lineman, you need one again because you lost Archery. We signed Archery. And so you do need something. Listen, and this is what I've seen over the last 2 or 3 seasons in NFL, man. If you don't have something pushing up the middle and you have a quarterback that's halfway good and have the ability to step up, it's how they beat San Francisco in the Super Bowl. It's how the Kansas City Chiefs beat them in the Super Bowl. Chris Jones applying constant pressure up the middle where you can't step into a throw. So I seen that, hands-on view that you need that push. So, Tennessee, looking to improve their defensive line, that it works because with quarterbacks now today, with all of them being mobile, you got to be able to close all those lanes, those gaps. Fill those gaps. Got to fill those gaps. And the bigger the defensive line, the better defensive line, the better the linebackers be, the better the corners be. It's interesting. I'm watching Tennessee defense this season very, very closely. I am. And again, if you want Snead to be that guy you think he is, you need to put somebody on the other side of Simmons. You have to. You have to, bro. You have to.
Yeah, and that,
you get it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You definitely look at him. Of course, you can look, once you get into the 4th, 5th round as well, if you decide, offensive line is going to be your first selection at 7. And then if you go wide receiver at 38, then you have to look at either trading up into the 3rd round or getting a guy later, or that second wave of free agency that comes after the draft. You can kind of look to fill some holes there. The thing with the Titans is on defense now, okay, your secondary is set. And then you got 2 key members in the front 7 with Harold Landry and Jeffrey Simmons, but you really don't have anyone around those guys now with the departure of Autry and Alshon Shazier to Houston. So you either have to build that up through the draft, or you have to go into that second wave of free agency. And, Sweat was a guy that was definitely under strong consideration to do that. We had a question from Jeremy. Jeremy, welcome to the show, my brother. Do you guys think it's a make or break year for Burks? For me personally, I think it is a make or break year for Treylon Burks. We had just talked about that. But coming in with a new coaching staff, you're going into the 3rd year, and after that 3rd year, that's when the team has to decide if they want to pick up that 5th year option for you. So if you don't do it now, then you go into that 4th year where, okay, now you're playing for your NFL livelihood at that point, because the average NFL career is about 4 years, less than 4 years.
Yeah.
So that 3rd year, it's almost like your junior year of high school. If you don't have that scholarship offer after your junior year of high school, it's very hard to get.
Yes, very.
Your senior year.
Yeah.
So it's almost like that with him going into his 3rd year. If he doesn't get it done this year, it's going to be very, very difficult for him to get it done.
Yeah. To answer Jeremy's question, this will make a break for him. He's going to have to show. I hope he get a chance to show it in Tennessee. I really do, because he do have something on the outside that can open him up and let him be an ideal slot guy for those guys, as he maybe try to work himself back into being a stud that he's supposed to be coming out of college. But yes, this is a make or break for him. Definitely. He ain't in the danger zone, but it is a make or break.
He is absolutely in the danger zone, bro.
He's not in the danger zone. He's not.
What? Describe what part of the danger zone. Is his career in jeopardy? Or are you talking about career, or are you talking about career with the Titans?
I mean, the moment. Danger zone, well, our definition of danger zone on this show is moments. It's moments. We can't go on careers in the field. It's moments. That's the danger zone, moments. We had your boy Ocho in the danger zone because of that moment. Not over what he's done over his career, is that moment. So at the moment, is it a make it or break it year for him? Of course it is, because he'll be entering into the final year of his deal next season. Of course it is. But to say he's in the danger zone when I don't think he's been given a proper chance, a proper opportunity to succeed. He hasn't had the coaching staff around him, Ken. He can't. You can't put him. Now, we can say this is make it or break it for him, but he's not in the danger zone, because a lot of his success, now don't get me wrong, those numbers, he have dropped 49% of his passes thrown to him. He done dropped them 50% of. But again, I want to know how much of those drop passes is on him, how much it was on the quarterback, how much on the system, how much was on the offensive line, So, again, stats are misleading sometimes, man. But he's not in the danger zone. Crucial year for him, definitely crucial year for
him. All right, so you say he's not in the danger zone.
No, he's not. He's not.
All right.
And
All right.
you very hard, man. You know you acting like Mr. Horn now, man. You know you very hard.
Oh man, come on, man. You lost half the audience with that one.
You hard on us, Ken. You hard on him, man. You hard on him, Ken. Yeah. You hard on him because you know he hasn't been given a good opportunity, man. You know he has.
Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna see. We're gonna see. Well, we're gonna switch gears a little bit. We've been talking a little NFL draft. Now we're gonna switch over to the hardwood, and we're gonna talk about the ladies and the action that happened tonight. We'll be back in 30 seconds on the Danger Zone.
Punk, you're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone.
You're in the danger zone.
You're in the danger zone.
You're in the danger zone.
You're in the danger zone.
You're in the danger zone.
You're in the danger zone.
You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone.
All right, back for second segment of the show. We're going to talk a little NCAA, Women's March Madness this afternoon. The Gamecocks from South Carolina, they do it. They go undefeated in the regular season, undefeated through the tournament. Coach Dawn Staley wins another championship as they knock off Iowa this afternoon. They did a good job on Caitlin Clark after the first quarter. So we'll kind of talk a little bit about that. We did have one question already in the chat about the WNBA, and we'll get that from, I believe, Timothy here. And Timothy Taylor, thank you, bro. Thanks for hopping in to the Danger Zone. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Oh, wait, that wasn't the question we wanted. This was the question we wanted. Would Boston at power forward and Cardoso at center be unstoppable in the WNBA? Timothy, I got to be honest with you. You got to let me know who Boston plays for. I'm not sure, but Cardoso is a beast. She's a beast inside. She had a big double-double this afternoon. I think at one point she had 15 points, 15 rebounds. I'll pull up the stats here in just a moment and see what she ended up with total for the game. Let's take a look here.
That's the girl for Iowa, right?
Cardoso, no, she's for South Carolina. That's the big center for South Carolina.
Okay.
15 points, 17 rebounds, 3 block shots.
Yeah.
She had a game.
Yeah.
She had a game.
Yeah.
She had a game today.
Yeah.
Okay, Boston plays for the Indiana Fever. So you know Indiana's going to take, I think Indiana has the number 1 pick. So they're going to take Caitlin Clark. I mean, that's automatic. That's money in the bank. That's a sellout almost every night, at least for her rookie season. So, Cardoso, they project her to go anywhere from 2 to 4. She's projected to go ahead of Angel Reese.
In front of Reese?
Yeah, in front of Reese. Yeah, she's projected to go in front of Reese. Boston was the WNBA Rookie of the Year. Okay, cool. So
appreciate you, Tim.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir, for that info. But Cardoso's a beast. I mean, she is gonna, now, and I don't know how much Floyd you was up on it on Diana Taurasi, WNBA superstar.
Yeah, I watched her.
Throwing a little shade at the ladies coming up for the draft, saying that, hey, it's not going to be easy for them coming into the WNBA, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, look, Diana, you should be happy that all these ladies are coming in with all the hype that they're coming in with, because that's going to put even more eyeballs on the WNBA next year. And you hope that they can carry the game to that next level where the WNBA can start getting the type of ratings that March Madness has been getting. That's what Larry Bird and Magic Johnson did for the NBA back in 1979 when they had that big championship game. And then they came in 1980 and they kind of saved the league. So you hope that these ladies can come in and uplift. So don't try to tear them down before they get in. You know what I'm saying? But it was a great game today.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I heard the comments. I think that was her and Sue Bird was talking today. But I mean, she's saying that from a competitive point of view. She's not looking at the fact that you know, the NBA been around since what, 1996, 97? Yeah. And the ratings has never got to where they thought that they should have been, you know, and they had stars. They had stars, Ken, and this is first existence in WNBA. They had plenty of stars. I think that this class of collegiate basketball player female that's coming out within this year and next year will kind of maybe determine where the WNBA be at in the next 10 years, you know? So I'm with you on that. Hats off to her, but then the competitor, her, you know, she was kind of telling the truth because I don't think nobody going to let her shoot the ball 45 times in a WNBA game. You think that's going to happen?
No. No, that's not going to happen. Tim says the FIFA has 4 players who average double figures, and unless they trade 2 of them away, then Clark won't get 10, 20 shots a game. So he's saying, you know, kind of what we saying. So, Tim, tell me about the Fever, bro. How did they end up with the number 1 pick? Because it looks like they have some talent on their roster. So, you know, how did they end up with the number 1 pick? That's what I want to find out. But while he's putting that together, let's talk a little bit about Caitlin Clark in the game today. Now, she finished with 30 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, but she had 18 points in the first half. She only had 12 points the rest of the game. She shot 10 of 28 from the field. It was a young lady for South Carolina that defended her tremendously well. Last name was Johnson, I believe. I'm trying to find her stats here.
I caught the last 4 minutes.
Raven Johnson.
Yes, I caught the last 4 minutes of the game, and I was down 5. And I saw Clark come down and take 2 or 3 consecutive bad shots.
Yes.
Bad shots.
Yes,
I was watching that. Now, believe it or not, that was only the 3rd time I watched her play. And all 3 times has been in the NCAA tournament. Granted that. But when I saw Iowa and how they came and how they played, their whole scheme, their whole game plan, it kind of reminded me of the NBA in the 80s a little bit when we had the Phoenix Sun with the Walter Davis and Paul Whitford, the run and gun, you know, jump shot shooting teams. The Golden State Warriors in the early 90s, you know, the Denver Nuggets in the late 80s, the Indiana Pacers in the early 80s, run and gun. We was always taught that a jump shot shooting team would never win championships. That's what we was taught. That's what we saw through our years of watching the NBA, watching collegiate basketball, watching the WNBA. Jump shot shooting team rarely win championship. Golden State Warriors kind of changed that around. But South Carolina was physical. They had an inside game that Iowa didn't. And when the jump shot's not falling, and this is your bread and butter, you have no other way of scoring when it comes crunch time. So that's what I got out of that. Again, Clark going to be the first player picked in the WNBA draft. Without a doubt, she deserves that. She earned that. But I just think that she's going to develop more. Her game, she got to develop more of her game. Shot selection is definitely going to be one of them that she has, her shot selections. And I think she'll get coached up. You know, she got to watch herself because it's going to always be competitors going at her. But again, I just think that she has a lot more to improve in her game, you know. that can make her maybe one of the greatest female basketball players. But other than that, man, you know, shot selection bad, you know, and most of the time when you're on a team, you're a star and you don't really have a whole lot of other scores around you. Remember Michael earlier in the 80s? Shit, Michael was jacking the ball up 25, 30 times a game himself. You know, so we understand that by being the guy or the woman on that team, you're gonna get a massive amount of shots, but sometimes you know, shoot your way in, shoot your way out too. And I think that's what happened with her today. Shout out to South Carolina defense, you know, Miss Johnson for holding her tight, playing her, staying up on her. You know, this girl, I seen this girl with 3 minutes, 15 seconds left. She jacked up a 40 like it wasn't nothing. I mean, a 40-footer, like it was nothing. You know, she missed, but it's like it was really. I said, okay, now she's out of control now. That's when the coach need a timeout. Set her down. Get her back because you're still only down 5. Still only down 5.
Right.
So, you know, South Carolina, shout out to them. Don, you the best right now, baby. Shout out to you.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, you know, the rebound and the size for South Carolina was the difference this afternoon. 49 rebounds to 25, 17 offensive boards to 5, second chance points 30 to 16. That was the difference in the ball game right there. It's just too much size. And then South Carolina, they also got ladies that can hit from the outside as well, because they had a lot of young ladies that did really good from the 3-point line. Pow was 3 of 4 from the 3-point line. Johnson was 2 of 2 from downtown. Kids hit 1 out of 2. Raven Johnson hit 1 of 2. So they did a pretty good job from the 3-point line as well. And didn't shoot a lot. And didn't shoot a lot. Iowa started off hot. They came out 10-0 lead. They had an 11-point lead in the first half, but South Carolina started to walk them down. I think it was tied at halftime. No, actually, South Carolina had a 3-point lead at halftime because Johnson peeled Clark right before halftime, went down and got a layup, and they gave him a 3-point lead going into the third quarter. And then they just gradually pushed that lead out, and then they was able to hold on to the victory. So shout out to South Carolina on the victory. Huge win for them. Let's see, Tim update. He said they were 13-27. So that's why he said they need more defense. All right, cool. So that makes a lot of sense there.
Appreciate you, Tim.
Yep, no doubt. Let's see what else we got. All right, so that was about it on the WNBA and WNBA and NCAA March Madness. Of course, the men will play tomorrow night. UConn and Purdue. Kind of lukewarm on that game personally. I mean, Houston's not in it, you know, so it kind of killed it, you know, for us down here in H-Town, man. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, but UConn and Purdue, 2 number 1 seeds. Zach Edey, I'm a big fan of him. Won the Naismith Player of the Year. Shout out to my boy Jamal Shead for University of Houston. He was named the Naismith Defensive Player of the Year. Coach Kelvin Sampson was named the Naismith Coach of the Year. And, you know, a lot of people, they were talking last night, well, the 2 best teams made it to the championship game. No. The 2 best teams did not make it to the championship game. Houston was the number 2 overall seed behind UConn. So let's not get it twisted. Purdue was the 4th number 1 seed. And Houston was the 2nd number 1 seed.
And we as Cougar fans knew that when we ran into size, we was going to have a problem. And with Snead going down, it was the writing on the wall. We had a problem with size. And I don't think Purdue could have did anything with the Cougars anyway. Now, Connecticut, I think Connecticut could beat them. But I don't think Purdue could beat the Cougars. Right now, with Jamal Snead playing healthy, no, they couldn't beat them.
No, I don't think so either. I don't think they could either.
No,
I definitely don't think they could either. I think Tim had a football question before we get to the NBA. Should Caleb Williams tell the Bears not to draft him because Soldier Field is too windy to be an efficient passer? Where Caleb Williams is right now, Tim, he can't demand anything. Like, he's already visited with the Bears. You don't want to have that type of negativity coming into the league. Yeah, guys like Eli Manning and John Elway, they were able to do that because Eli Manning, he had his dad and he had his brother who were football royalty. John Elway, he had Major League Baseball in his pocket. If he didn't play football, he was a number one pick in the MLB draft. So he could have pulled that as well. It's really hard to do that now because you don't want that negative PR. In Chicago, look, Chicago is one of the 3 largest cities in America. There's a lot of sponsorship opportunities going to the Bears. He can be the greatest quarterback in Chicago Bear history because they really don't have one. So, yeah, you really got to play your cards right if you're Caleb Williams. So you go in there, you do the best you can. Hopefully he has a great career, but no, he cannot demand a trade. He cannot demand a trade, in my opinion.
I mean, he could say he don't want to play there, but he had to come out the gate saying that. He can't wait this late in the game to say I don't want to be drafted by this. I mean, so he can't say that. But the reason why I agree with you is because they showed him that they were trying to get better before he get there. By signing Keenan Allen, Swift. He had 2 defense players. He signed Sweat, and they signed somebody else too on defense too. So they showed him they was trying to get better. So I mean, if that right there alone would have been enough. Me say, okay, let me give him a shot. Let's do this. They have made efforts prior to me coming there of getting better. But to rule out that he can't do that, he couldn't do that. I mean, yeah, he can, but he got to come out the gate doing it if that's what he's gonna do. I mean, granted, Eli, got royalty, and John had the Yankees in his back pocket. True enough, but Caleb Williams, he's the most sought after quarterback outside of Andrew Luck in years, who they're saying is ready and fit. So yes, he do. Yes, he do have some say so. If that's the card he wanted to pull, I'm glad he didn't, because again, I'm like you. I don't like controversy. Go in, go to work, do your job. Go in, do your work, do your job. But again, hey man, he could have set out and made $10 million in college again, and not even. I mean, I'm so happy for the collegiate players now, though, Ken. This is so overdue, man. This is so overdue for them guys to get compensated for the hard work that they put on and off the field, man. So I shout out to that. It ran your boy Nick Saban out of the game, but it was time for Nick Saban to go anyway. Been around too long anyway. He didn't know how to play. You didn't know how to play the card. You played the card that was dealt to you all those years. Now you can't play the cards that dealt to you now.
Nope.
Even playing field to me.
No doubt. No doubt.
So,
well, look, if Caleb wanted to demand a trade, I know a city that's growing. It's got a beautiful music scene. It's one of the top growing cities in America. It's beautiful mountains, and it's got 4 seasons. You got a winter, a summer, a spring, and a fall. He got a whole plethora of receivers. I would be willing to give them, the number 7 pick and a pick next year. And I'll give them Treylon Burks and Will Levis. And I'll do all that and push all my chips to the table to the Chicago Bears for the number 1 pick. I would do it. I would do it.
I'm sure you will throw that trash out there and think they're going to take that.
I sure would do it.
The number 7 pick,
come on to the music
and Burke. Come, stop it. Stop it, Ken.
Levis Burks and 2 number 1 picks. Levis Burks and 2 number 1 picks.
I think about that one now.
You think about that one right there?
Yeah, I think about that one now. 2 number 1 picks.
2 number 1.
And them 2.
And them too. I'll push it, all my chips to the table. I'm all in. Chicago, what you want to do? What you want to do, Chicago? I'm all in.
That 2 number ones is interesting. If they make it 3, I'm all in. They don't give me a third one, and I'm all in with it.
Tim say Soldier Field is where quarterbacks go to die.
True that. True that.
You also say Chicago fans don't have patience for black quarterbacks if he's not good as Ricky. But don't they boo all their quarterbacks? Did they boo Trubisky? Yeah, they should have drafted Deshaun, and then they wouldn't even been in this. Well, let me take that back. All right, let's move on.
Yeah. Hey, but speaking on the Chicago Bears, speaking on Chicago Bears, and he said black quarterback. I don't know if he's old enough to remember Vince Evans, but Vince Evans was quarterback of the Chicago Bears when Walter Payton was there.
With Walter Payton, yeah.
You know,
yeah.
They didn't have none but a defense and a running game. That's all they had then, and when they finally won it, that's all they had. You know, when Vince Evans was the wide receiver, was the track star. God dang, what was that boy name for the Bears?
Willie Go.
Willie Go. There you go. Out of Tennessee. Willie Go. So I ain't gonna say that right there that they don't like black quarter. I ain't gonna say that because Vince played there a while with him. You know, but you know they need a franchise quarterback, man. It's time for them to have. I thought they had it with Justin Fields. I'd have still stayed with Justin Fields, me personally, but it's time. The Bears are long overdue. Man. And can you quit trying to make everything seem all right for 10? Nobody want to go down there and look at Elvis everywhere they turn. They see Elvis, man. They don't want to see that, man.
Beyonce taking over country music, bro. What the song say? This ain't Texas. This ain't Texas.
I hear you, big bro. I hear you, bro.
This ain't Texas. Hey, we got a couple of minutes left in the show. We're finna jump into some WNBA next. You're in the danger zone.
You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone.
You're in the danger zone.
You're in the danger zone.
You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone.
You're in the danger zone.
You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone. You're in the danger zone.
All right, everyone, we're about to wrap up the show. A few more minutes. Please hit that subscribe button. Please hit the like button. Please hit that notification bell. Share the show out to your friends. If you're on Twitter, if you're on Facebook, just hop over to the YouTube version. If you don't mind, hit that subscribe button. We really appreciate it. And we'll be with you every Sunday night. And we will pop up during the week when breaking news happens. We had a big show this past Wednesday on the whole Emmanuel Acho, Angel Reese situation. If you haven't had a chance to view that show, go back to the archive, take a look at it. It was a fire show. But right now, we're going to close it out talking about the NBA. NBA season has 1 week remaining. The playoff teams in both conferences are set. Seeding still has to be determined. Who's going to be where. The only thing we know for sure is that the Boston Celtics are the number 1 seed in the East. Pretty much everything else is up in the air in the NBA. Floyd, you wanted to put the NBA in the danger zone. Why?
Okay. Let me ask you a question. Now, granted, we've had this platform 3 weeks, maybe a month. And for us to have this platform and have had a few shows for neither one of us to mention the NBA is a sad tone all by itself. Why? I'm going to ask you this, Ken. Why aren't you as enthusiastic about the NBA as you is about, let's say, March Madness, NFL. I mean, we're in the offseason in the NFL, and we still crunk about that. What has the NBA done to allow you to shade it a little bit, so to speak?
What you mean shaded?
Slide back. You haven't poured in it. You're not, man, you did this last year. We was into the NBA last year, man. We were into the NBA with our Rockets being as terrible as they were. We were still in the NBA. We could sit down and pretty much watch any NBA game. What has happened?
I think there's a few different things that the league, some things they have addressed, a few other things that they still need to address. So the positive was putting in the 65 game rule, where it's forcing players to play more now and not sit out as many games. I think the things that continue to hurt the NBA, one is the officiating is really, really bad on a nightly basis. I think secondly, the lack of physicality, and the NBA has actually done something about that since the All-Star game. They've allowed teams to be more physical. They've instructed officials to call less fouls so that the game can be more physical. Because you saw scores in the first half of the season, 135, 125, 140 to 130, 160.
Still seeing it.
But not as much. But not as much. You're not as much. So it's coming back now to the means. But you asked what the problem was. That was part of the problem. People want to see, yes, everybody wants to see scoring. Just like the NFL, people want to see scoring, but we don't want to see defenses handicapped so much where they're pretty much playing with their hands behind their back. Like if you're a defensive back, you can't touch anybody without it being a 15-yard penalty. Well, it was the same way in the NBA. You can't touch anybody, so it allows easy baskets at the rim. So you just seeing offenses going up and down the field, up and down the court, and real basketball fans want to see competitive, tough basketball. Do we want to see basketball like it was in the 90s when it was 86 to 84 when the Rockets were in the NBA Finals? Probably not.
Probably not.
But you don't want it completely on the other end where it's 135 to 130. You want to see something in a happy medium. There's good offense. There's very good offensive skill players, but you want to allow defenders to defend. And I think that's where the NBA really got into problem the first half of the season. And it's really taken them a time to get people back. Now, I think once March Madness is over tomorrow night and you start to get into the playoffs next week, I think you'll see the conversations around the NBA start to increase. But I agree with you right now, the first part of the season really set back the entire season overall.
It started last season, absolutely, when I really started getting that vibe. The NBA is global. They're global. Has a lot of European players and bringing the European style. They're not physical. They're scorers. They're shooters. Some of them been playing professional basketball since they're 15, 16 years old. Your league is flooded with those type of players. So when you have those type of players, those players are offensive guys. No one is known for defense. No one is known for playing defense. As great as Luka is and as great as Joker is, they're not great defenders. Neither one of them are great defenders. So it's successful. It generates a buzz. It generates money, but it kills your hardcore fans. when I'm looking at a score 148 to 140, I it's hard to stomach that, Ken. It's hard to stomach that. Along with the, with them playing pretty soft right now. I hate to call them that, but it's soft. It's nothing physical. The president of the center, the president of the low post position has gradually came back, but we lost it for 5, 6, 7 years with the Golden State Warrior dynasty and the way they played, and everybody was trying to fix and play the style that they were playing. So you basically eliminated the middleman. You eliminated the center. He has gradually implemented himself back into league play now. They were so bad where even in the All-Star game, they didn't even have them listed as forwards and centers and stuff no more. They had them all considered backcourt. I mean front court. Right. Front court. Right. So it was just telling you how it demise. This is why the NBA is in the danger zone with me. Is that you choose global and you chose flashiness and you chose offense, over competitiveness. You choose to sit in the All-Star game with players out there and you got a 210 to 200 All-Star game. I don't want to see that crap. I don't want to see that junk, man. I'm used to seeing an All-Star game when Bird was going at Magic, and Dominique, he was going at Clyde. They going at it. They playing. It's the competitiveness, man. And as much as people applaud LeBron, and LeBron been the face of this league, man. Listen, he's been the face of this league for over 20 years. He is. But he don't have that Michael, that Kobe, that, I think the best player of the league follows the best player of the league. Am I right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It follows in that footstep, right? And LeBron is great. Probably go down as the number 2 or 3 best player ever to play the game. But he ain't that dog. He's not that dog. Jordan demanded defense. Kareem played defense. They demanded defense. You can do both. And LeBron had his stage in his career when he played pretty good defense. But for the most part, he average defender. So when the face of the league is high power offense, no defense, Luka. And Luka went out for 34 today, and Kyrie had 48 against the Rockets today in overtime.
Tyrese Maxey had 52 tonight.
Thank you, Tim. Shout out to my boy Timothy Taylor, y'all. Shout out to him, man. He's loyal to the show. And, man, bring more to it. Bring more to you like it, Tim. We need more like you. Yeah, but that's why the NBA is in the danger zone with me, man.
I agree with you. And man, it was a time there where NBA was number 1 over the NFL for me.
For me too.
It was number 1 in the NFL for me. Because me and my boys, we've been in a fantasy basketball. A lot of people don't play fantasy basketball, but I've been in a fantasy basketball league for almost 30 years, man, in the same league with the same group of cats. And we thoroughly enjoy the NBA. But over the last couple of years, it's been extremely hard to watch, particularly in the regular season. And like I said, it's good that they put in the 65 game rule to try to force these guys to play more. But, the refereeing has got to get better. The sense of urgency has got to get better. I still won't pay to go to a game. I will not. I have a buddy that'll give me free tickets. And now I may take my grandson just for the experience of taking him. But for me, just to go to a Rockets game, I mean, it kind of takes moving, concrete for me to do that. You know what I'm saying? Just because it's not just the vibe in the arena is just not the same. And I understand that the team is down and they're starting to build back up and things of that nature, but it's just it's so much dead time and the entertainment between timeouts and halftime, just the overall NBA experience, it needs a jolt. It needs a jolt. I remember going back to the Summit, when you had Turbo, as the Rocket mascot, and he's doing all these trampoline gymnastics and all this kind of stuff, but and the mascots, they do a lot to make it fun for the kids and stuff like that. So just got to add some entertainment value for what folks are paying to go to these games, man, which is astronomical.
Well, let me ask you this right here, Ken. What are your take on the American-born NBA players, and who do you think is the next guy to be the face of the NBA, American player? Because as great as Giannis and Luka and all those guys, I don't believe they will ever be the face of the NBA. They would definitely be guys that represent the NBA, the play and the style, but I don't think that they will be the face of the NBA. Give me your take on that, big bro.
He's not here yet. He's not here yet. Whoever that is, he's not here yet. Could it be Anthony Edwards? It could be. But remember, because you have to look at your history to kind of predict your future, right?
True.
So when Jordan left, we was all trying to make that next guy. Jordan left in
98.
2000?
Oh, well, he left in 98, and then he came back in 2000
with the Wizards.
And he played 2 seasons with them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he was gone. He was gone about 4 years, right at 5 years, and he came back for 2, and that was it. Yeah.
Okay. So during that time, we tried to make Jerry Stackhouse the guy because he went to North Carolina. We tried to make Vince Carter the guy. We tried to make Tracy McGrady the guy. Sometimes there's just not a guy. And that's okay. You just have to wait for that guy to come. And that American guy, in my opinion, is not here yet. He's not here yet. I'm trying to bring up Jordan's. Yeah, his last year was 2002, 2003, which I think LeBron's rookie year was what, 2003, 2004?
Yes. Yes. And it's funny you say that, because after Michael left, and even when Michael came back in the Wizard thing, I didn't really take that too serious. He did some things for a 39-year-old great.
Yeah.
But looking at who won championships after that, 99, the short strike season, the Knicks, and then you got the Lakers.
The Spurs.
I mean, not the Knicks, the Spurs, yeah. Spurs beat the Knicks.
Beat the Knicks.
And then we had the Lakers to go on the 3-peat. And then the Spurs. And then so it was never, you right. Kobe was there. Kobe had it. But we all know what happened with that.
Right.
We all know what happened with that. And as great as Shaq was he ever the face of the league?
No. Because Olajuwon was better. So he couldn't be the face of the league. Early. I'm talking about Orlando Shaq. I'm not talking about LA Shaq. Orlando.
Right. But even LA Shaq, was Shaq the face of the NBA?
No, because it was Shaq and Kobe. They were connected.
And you had Tim Duncan. But to piggyback on those guys that you named to be the next guy when Jordan stepped down, it was so many of them. You named you forgot about Harold Miner. You forgot about him. He was supposed to be the next one. Stackhouse, like you say. What's the other boy? Isaiah Ryder. It was so many of them that was, but I've never heard anyone tell me what you just did. It ain't now. You gotta wait till he come.
You gotta wait till he come. Because the next one is not American. He's French.
And who you call him? Who you talking about?
I'm talking about the boy up out 10 in San Antonio. That's the next face of the league right there. Whether you want to believe it or not. Now, he's got to win. The team has to win and all that good stuff. But I'm telling you, this kid is better than the projections. He is better than the projections. Victor Wembanyama. Victor Wembanyama right now is a top 10 player in the NBA. Go look at the numbers. He is a top 10 player in the NBA right now. People don't know it because the Spurs are terrible. They have nothing around him.
I watch NBA TV every day. I watch him. I watch his highlights. I see his stats. He has stretches where he miss. He come up missing. He's had those stretches. I see, a special talent. I do. Man, 7'5", he shoot 37% from 3, if I ain't mistaken. 37, 38% from 3. I see all the potential there, but I see a stumbling block for him. And his name is Greg Popovich.
What? Yes. Yes, but that's not his fault, right? And you hope that they get Pop out of there sooner than later.
I want you to hear what you just said.
You hope that they get Pop out of there. And look, I got Spurs fans. I got a lot of Spurs fans.
Yeah.
I know a lot of Spurs fans.
Me too,
and
man.
They all agree.
Yeah.
It's time for Pop to go, just like it was time for Bill Belichick to go.
Yeah.
It's time for Pop to go.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But that has nothing to do with Wemby. What I'm talking about with Wemby.
No.
Wemby right now is a top 10 player in the NBA.
So what's the difference in if Pop may be the reason he don't get to that level, maybe as quick as we think he is, or that you assume he's going to get to? Why that situation is any different than Burks in Tennessee? Coaching is why ain't they any better? You ready to put him in the danger zone though?
Wemby is a top 10 player. Treylon Burks is not even a top 50 wide receiver. Wemby is playing in spite of no talent. And I'm not going to say Pop's a bad coach. I would never disrespect him by saying he's a bad coach.
He don't have talent now.
Don't have talent, and I think the game has passed him by.
Yeah.
Like it's time to let somebody else handle that.
Yeah.
And he may very well. He may be saying, let me get him through his rookie season, and then maybe he hands it off to somebody next year. Or maybe he doesn't. I don't know.
All his assistants got head coaching jobs all around the league now. I mean, who he got left on the bench? He ain't gonna. They're not gonna bring an outsider in. You know that. You know that.
Yeah. But no, that kid. You ask me who's the guy? That's the guy. American born. He's not here yet. He might be in high school. He might be in high school somewhere right now.
I ain't high on Wembley as everyone else is, though. I'm not. 7'5", and the things he's trying to do, I don't see him. I mean, I hope he play a long time. I've never seen a guy 7'5", have handles like that and step back and shoot a 3 and getting in the, he's very active, definitely very active. But I hope he have a long career. But I don't. History says 7-footers, their feet go bad real quick.
Yeah.
But I'm not going. I've seen him do. I seen the only triple double with blocks other than Elijah one. I seen him do that this season. So yeah, he's special, man. He's special.
Now look, Şengün gave him the business.
Yes.
About a month ago, Şengün gave him the business.
Yes.
So
yeah,
we'll see. But yeah.
So
It
yeah,
hadn't
God
happened.
put him up there. NBA in the danger zone, man. In the danger zone.
Yep.
They're in the danger zone. They choosing money over competition. That's what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're doing.
Yep. Well, maybe they'll get out of the same danger zone once the playoffs begin in a couple of weeks, 2 weeks. 2 weeks from this Sunday. The playoffs will begin that Saturday. So 2 weeks from now, we'll be 1 day into the NBA playoffs.
They start on and it's the 15th, 14th.
21st.
Okay. And then a week later,
20th, Saturday.
And then a week later, the NFL draft. A week later.
Week later is the NFL draft. Correct.
Yeah.
So that's going to wrap it up for tonight, everyone. We definitely appreciate everyone hopping in. Again, we urge you to subscribe to the show, hit that like button, hit that notification bell. We'll be with you each and every Sunday night. And again, congratulations to South Carolina women winning the national championship. We'll all have our eyes on UConn and Purdue tomorrow night, and we'll keep abreast of any breaking news that goes on in the sports world, Titans, Texans, and anything else that comes across. Any parting words, my brother, before we get out of here?
I'm a little worried about the Astros now.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
That's all.
They won tonight. Thankfully, they won tonight.
Yeah, I'm a little worried, but that's another subject, man. Hey, man, I appreciate the opportunity, man, to chop it up here with you, Ken. And I always look forward to it, man. So, man, you be safe, man. Peace, love,
all right,
and so.
All right, everybody. Y'all have a good night. We're going to get up out of here. Y'all have a blessed week. We'll see y'all next Sunday night. Peace.